Why am I doing this? And it always came back to, because I freaking love it, man. If you're here because of the money, you need to leave. If you're here because you enjoy the self-exploration of being a thespian and this and that and learning new things, then yeah, you're in the right place, because you're going to have that willingness to learn no matter if you're getting paid or not. You'll remember this. This was when I got second at the Arnold Classic in 2010. I didn't like that placing at all. I did not like it. I hated it. I still do, right? They obviously outweighed me. And Randy, all those guys outweighed me. Majority of the guys that I beat at the Olympia outweighed me. What I did was be a better version of myself. I think we should ask people why. We should be more curious, like a child. Kids ask, why, mom? Why, dad? Why? They get obsessed with why. At some point in time, we stop asking ourselves and other people why. Why is drinking, 2 gallons of water good for me? Why is eating 5 times a day good for me? Why is training 2 hours a day under massive amounts of stress, good for me? Like, what? Why is this? Why is it like? Why do I need this pro card? Why? Like, why? And what is it going to do for me? And you have to figure out. Okay, case in point, I did my first bodybuilding show April 4th, 2003. Why did I get up there? Because my friends pushed me into doing it, and I was like, well, let's see. And then I get up there, and I was like, holy smokes, this is pretty fun. That was my why. It was fun. And I realized that every time I got on stage, I experienced a level of anxiety. And I never liked public speaking growing up, even though I loved to talk in class, which is weird. But I conquered some fears as well, going from basketball to wearing basically nothing on stage in front of strangers, hitting poses. Whoa, I was able to conquer some things. So I was able to develop more self-confidence and love myself, because with bodybuilding, yeah, you love your muscles, but later on in life, why did I do it? Because I wanted to love myself. It was teaching me lessons when I got hit with levels of adversity. Why am I doing this? And it always came back to, because I freaking love it, man. When I was going through, I went through divorce, still won the Olympia. When I went through, I was at Dave Lieberman's show, and gosh, it was like yesterday, literally almost yesterday. Was it 6 years ago? Almost 6 years ago to the day. I was at Dave Lieberman's show, and my dad had passed. And I still had to go up there, do the posing, had the best routine though, and still go do what we do after the show, which is what? We go get cleaned up and we go do the VIP dinner and we shake everybody's hand, take pictures. Why did I continue to do that? Because I loved the sport. I love what it allowed me to do. It allowed me to also have the resources to visit my father before his death every week while I was living in Denver. He was living in Seattle. Bodybuilding allowed me those resources through my hard work. Why? Okay. And why would I go want to chat with people right after that happened? Because I know that my dad would want me to do that. And I would want people to recognize that I'm a real professional, because a real professional does those things. So the word why had to always come into mind. And, why would I start a business? Because I want to help people, because I want to be able to use my business degree, those are things that come into your head, but I think gets lost in the translation because we get so fixated on like you said, like money, gratification, validation from others, stuff like that. And you'll wake up empty as hell inside because that why didn't mean shit. You're living for everybody else, and maybe you needed to do something else. Like your acting coach said, if you're here because of the money, you need to leave. If you're here because you enjoy the self-exploration of being a thespian and this and that and learning new things, then yeah, you're in the right place, because you're going to have that willingness to learn no matter if you're getting paid or not.
There's one of the biggest things in health and fitness is to appease these judges. And so with everybody that's coming into the sport now, it is all about this is what the judges said I need to do. This is what the judges said I need to change. What would your best recommendation for them be? Would it be to, because I don't know if it's different than what my opinion is. I'm curious on what you would say to somebody who says, if this is what the 9 judges says that you need to be, then you need to be that. Go with that.
I would think, first and foremost, you got to be honest with yourself. You have to, sorry, my dog is running around.
That's all right.
But you got to be honest with yourself, and going into any prep, each person has a vision of what they want to look like. They already know what they currently look like. Okay. All right. So you want to know, okay, if I'm training and if I'm dieting and this and that, I'm putting myself in a position to look a certain way. You should already know whether you've made leaps and bounds throughout your prep just by from the first week to the last week of prep. If you haven't made much improvement, that's your guide right there. You should already know this, and you should be able to go back to that notebook that we got, figure out what the hell I did, and dissect, why did I eat this? Why did I train this way? Why did I take this supplement over this one? Everything you have to start with why before you start seeking, even validation from a judge. Now, when they adjudicate you, they're basing that adjudication based on who you're standing next to. So it is kind of hard because that person, maybe just because you trained your legs, maybe that person trained them harder, or maybe they're just more genetically blessed than you in that area. That doesn't mean that you don't look at it and say, well, I'm no good. It just says, maybe I only have to be a 5% better in that area to stand next to them. Case in point, I remember, it was, you'll remember this. This was when I got second at the Arnold Classic in 2010. I didn't like that placing at all. I did not like it. I hated it. I still do, right? How did I get better instead of being bitter? Was look over the pictures, say, can I get better than that? It was a simple question. Can I get better than this? I didn't need to go up to, I remember going up to Weinberger and he was just like, the show could have went either way, Phil. I said, okay. And you can ask him. I wasn't like in tears. I wasn't furious. I wasn't anything. I was just like, okay. He was like, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm good. You know why I was good? Because I said to myself right away, I said, can you be better than this? Because this doesn't feel right. And the rest was history. I never lost to him again. But if I would have not asked myself, can I get better than this? And will I do it to get better than this? Then so it starts with self. Like, you got to be willing to just be like, look, man, like I could have been better, but you know what? I was doing that 30-day Titan, challenge, and I only did it for 20. Well, you're not going to get the results then. So you really have to be honest. But it starts with yourself. The judges, they see so many people, man. It's so hard for them. So they're just trying to give you a little something. But it's up to you to kind of look at those pictures and be like, am I satisfied? The answer should be no. If the answer is yes, then you're going to be satisfied whatever they give you as well. You have to be okay with that.
I'm around these guys that are monsters out here, and they get these 300-pound guys, and they go, well, I got to do this, I got to do that. And I'm like, I see the mindset going to appease these judges, I have to do this. And I'm looking at them going, do you like your physique like this, or do you like it maybe at 270? And he goes, well, I like it at 270. And for me, I was lucky enough that I got to train and live my life for how I liked my body, instead of trying to appease somebody. And I thought that was a great gift that Joe Weider gave me early on as a young kid when I was believing my own hype. And I was around some of the guys that I was shooting with. We just finished up the Olympia, and I was 20 years old. And he said to me, he goes, you like how you look? And I go, yeah. And he goes, then stay like that. You don't need to change anything. How you are, you could be a success just like you're doing right now. And I was like, wow. And he said that after everybody left and all that stuff. He goes, I want to say this to you right now. I want to say this to you by yourself, alone. What's the goal here and all that? And he told me that. And I was like, oh, wow, that saves me a lifetime of trying to appease people at such a young age. I was such in a mindset that I got to appease the judges. I get my pro card. After I get my pro card, that means the Lamborghini gets sent to me in the big mansion, right? Because you get that instantly as soon as you get the pro card. And I'm like, it was like, no, it doesn't work that way. And
no,
it wasn't. I didn't need to go that other route, and I got to enjoy lifting, like you said. It's fun, and the growth within yourself from going in and doing battle and training for something and going through those 12-week training plans to get ready for something or to get ready for guest posing. As simple as those are, it's fun to do it. So it's a nice touch.
You were able to do that, but you also have to. I mean, you already know this, but a lot of people have to go back into your history and say, okay, well, what was Mike doing when he was a kid? You know, self-discipline. How did he get self-discipline? He did martial arts. It requires a lot of self-discipline. It allows yourself to figure out who you are, strengths, weaknesses, everything, and be at peace with yourself. And that's what Joe was doing, was allowing you to have peace with yourself. Another person that had that same peace, in my opinion, there's two people. One was Sean Ray. Another one was Dexter Jackson. They didn't change for nobody. It kind of stayed relatively the same as far as their weight was concerned. I mean, Dexter probably had he had a much different transformation, obviously, how he turned pro and how he ended as far as weight is concerned. But I use them as an example because you didn't see much change as far as their look. They made sure they were complete and that they were in great condition. That's it. For me, yeah, it was a little different because I was like, okay, I came from a basketball body, had to recreate everything. But I never had to play the size game. And some people will say, oh yeah, you did. No, that I still recall the Olympia that I competed against Ramy and I won. I was weighing like in the mid 240s. So therefore he beat me. I beat him. He probably was weighing like 280, 290. So if I was to try to, think, okay, well, they're rewarding size and this now, or like when Kai beat me at the Arnold, like he obviously outweighed me by a tremendous amount. How did I beat guys like him and Jay Cutler? They obviously outweighed me. Him, Ramy, all those guys outweighed me. Majority of the guys that I beat at the Olympia outweighed me. What I did was be a better version of myself. Little bit here and there, little bit here and there. And ultimately, like Joe was telling you, and you've lived this through and through, you know who the hell you are, you love yourself, and you're not changing for nobody, because at the end of the day, you gotta love this life. And you're not gonna be something that you're not. And if you're being and think about all the new kids coming out feeling like they gotta be freaking ginormous, like you're saying.
Yep.
Are they really happy about that shit? We don't know. Maybe they're tricking themselves into feeling like that.
I know. I actually do know. They don't.
Yeah, they don't. Who wants to have to eat like that and do what they do? No, you're being limited. And what if it doesn't work? See, that's the crazy part. What if that doesn't work? Now you got to get bigger? Oh man, now you just ruined it. So it's definitely something where it is a hero's journey at the end of the day. Like, you really have to be in tune with what you want, what you think you're gonna get, what the true return on investment is, and then you just go for it. And if it doesn't work, I mean, you sometimes have to say, damn, man, I probably shouldn't have done that. I came in too heavy. And maybe the judges don't even know, because here in the open class, there is no scale.
I'm going to take this out of bodybuilding, because you just said something. You said, I messed up. I gave it all my gut for what they wanted, and I messed up, and now I just wasted that time. You just said something that I think is a metaphor for everybody. If you want to play the piano, if you truly want to play it, give it everything you got. If you want to do the acting or whatever job it is, or a business. But if you're doing it for you, I think truly, if you're doing it 100% for you and it doesn't work, at least you know you gave it everything you got for something that you believed in.
Right.
But if you give everything you got to appease other people and you still come up empty-handed, the guy that wants to deadlift 1,000 pounds, well, does he want to do it for himself or does he want to do it for everybody else? Because, I get 1,000 pounds is a cool freaking number. I love it. But you tear out your back and you're walking around all bent over for the rest of your life. It's like, okay, if I was doing it for me, I understood that process and I understand the risks I'm taking. But if I do it for everybody else and I injure myself, if I jump off the cliff with my motorcycle, it's such there's two folds to that. If you're giving everything for everybody else, you're not going to maintain it, or you're going to be bitter the rest of your life if you don't get there.